So just recently, I purchased the DJI Ronin RS3. And after purchasing, just a week later, I seen a post of the RS3 Mini coming out. With the RS3 Mini coming out, it gave me a lot of questions to think if I should keep my RS3 or switch to the Mini. So for me, I had to go through the key features and see what was the big differences between this RS3 Mini versus the RS3. A couple of key features that stuck out to me is this gimbal is really lightweight. It still had a good battery life, only 2 hours less than the RS3, and it could hold a full frame mirrorless camera. For me, the Ronin RS3 was my mirrorless gimbal that I needed. I do use a bigger gimbal when I use my Komodo, but I did want something that I can use for when I'm doing little run and gun things and doing creative work. So when I started looking at the key features that was on this Ronin RS3 Mini and start checking them off, it made me have to give a call to one of my friends that I knew would get his hands on it. So I reached out to one of my close homies, Brandon Washington, and we decided to take out the Ronin S3 and the Ronin S3 Mini and put them against each other side by side, shooting the same shots to see what we got. So in order to make this comparison very fair, we took a Canon R6 Mark I and a Canon R6 Mark II. Same lens, we put the 24-70 on both of them, RF mount, and we shot the same thing back and forth. The Canon R6s are full frame mirrorless cameras. The 24-70 is a very heavy lens for a mirrorless camera, so we knew this would be a good test to put the Mini at its top capacity load. And I will say, we had no issues balancing the Mini at all. Of course, the RS3 held this camera with no problems. Now I will say there were a few hiccups when balancing. The RS3 Mini actually balanced a little easier without hitting the back eyepiece of the R6, and I think that's just because the motor on the Mini slings down just a little bit more than the R3 does, which is actually a good benefit to say the Mini can actually balance the camera better. Now as far as payload, the R3 does have a better payload, so if you're gonna add a filter or a mic on top, then you may gonna look towards the R3 versus the Mini. I think we kind of pushed it right at its limit. We did add a filter to it, an ND filter, so we could stop down, and it held it fine, but I don't think I would put any more weight on that camera while it's on the RS3 Mini. Now going into underslung mode was a little more difficult on the RS3 Mini because it has a little less of a payload, and flipping it made it a little harder. The RS3 did it a lot better than the Mini did as far as flipping it in underslung, but once they're both in underslung mode, they kind of hold up the same. Now just to say, all these shots were shot in regular 24 frames, there's no slow motion, and we did use no stabilization on any of the lenses or inside of the camera. Now I will say, the RS3 is the winner in this category as far as holding the camera and not having an issue. The Mini did very well, but I will say that actually having a longer handle on the RS3 does help out with getting some of the shots like in flashlight mode and underslung, just because you have a little more grip. I do have bigger hands, so I definitely do like the RS3's extension handle a lot better. The Mini is just very compact, so you kind of have to use the tripod folded up as part of your handle. Now for me, I know you want to know my conclusion and what gimbal that I would actually go with, and am I going to pick up a Mini. I will say that at the price point that the Mini is at, it would be lovely for me, but I do like having the extra payload weight, just in case I want to have fun and put some crazy cinema lens or something creative on it. Now I will say that we did not try to max out this gimbal, and I will try to do some more tests with the Mini again just to see what type of payload can it have. I would love to try to balance my Komodo on it. So I do think it is a great gimbal that you can use, and it's very perfect for traveling because it's so small. But for me, I think I'm gonna stick with the RS3. Now from the B-roll, you can actually see that we did have a third gimbal out there, and it was actually the Weeble. And I will say that gimbal really impressed me just because of some of the attachments that comes with that gimbal for almost the same price of the Mini. And it did also hold the camera with not many issues. And if you want to go see that gimbal versus the RS3 Mini, go check out Brandon's Washington video that he just drops where he puts the RS3 Mini versus the Weeble. Now after seeing this video, if you see anything you would like me to test on the RS3 Mini, please drop it in the comments and I will get my hands back on it and put that gimbal to the test. I think it's a great gimbal for anybody. Like I say, the price is amazing. That gimbal costs $369, and for the payload that it can hold, it is great. Definitely for any content creator that wants to get some gimbal work in and be able to add to their arsenal. And if you like this review, make sure to check out my channel. Make sure to subscribe because I'll do some more tests on the RS3 and a few more gimbals and other camera gear. Make sure to check out some of my videos because I'm doing camera gear reviews and a few tech reviews, so just stay tuned. And thank you for watching. Peace.